We will see the difference between pyrexia, fever, hyperthermia, and hyperpyrexia. The hypothalamus, located in the brain, is the body's thermoregulatory center and is responsible for maintaining the body's temperature within a favorable range of temperature between 36 to 37.5 degrees Celsius. The word pyrexia derives its origin from the Greek root pyros, which means fire or burning heat. It is simply the medical term for fever. So the main difference between fever and pyrexia is a medical term for the word fever. They are the same. Fever is caused by an increase in hypothalamic set point, which is the body's thermostat, as the body's adaptive response to a pathologic state. So fever is an increase in hypothalamic set point. This process is carried out through chemical mediators or cytokines known as pyrogens. Hyperthermia, which is derived from Latin word beyond heat, on the other hand, is a sudden and uncontrolled increase in body temperature, which is due to a failure of body's thermoregulatory mechanism. Fever is a controlled increase in body temperature, whereas hyperthermia is uncontrolled increase in body temperature. In hyperthermia, the body is unable to lose enough heat to cope with increased production and maintain normal body temperature. Unlike fever, there is no involvement of hypothalamus in the case of hyperthermia, and the hypothalamic set point remains untouched. So, fever is a natural, adaptive response of the body to physiologic stress. Fever can be caused by a vast range of conditions, both infectious and non-infectious. Whatever the etiology of the fever, it is associated with an increase in set point of the hypothalamus. This results in controlled increase of the overall body temperature. This change in the set point is mediated by the action of cellular messengers known as pyrogens. Their effect on the hypothalamus. Pyrogens can be either endogenous or exogenous. Endogenous pyrogens are interleukin 1, 6, and exogenous can be bacterial, viral, and the like. Hyperthermia, on the other hand, is caused by a failure of the body's thermoregulatory or temperature control apparatus. The body has an impaired ability to lose heat. Hyperthermia can either caused by excessive amount of heat from the surroundings or due to an increase in heat internal production. It can be from excessive heat from the surrounding or increase in body's internal heat production. For instance, hyperthermia could be caused by strenuous exercise in a hot environment. So this is heat from the surrounding, or it can be due to excess heat production in diseases such as pheochromocytoma. In either cases, both internal and external, the heat produced overruns the body's heat loss capacity and causes a sharp spike in temperature, which often leads to severe complications and serious organ damage without affecting hypothalamic set point. An important difference between fever and hyperthermia is that in the latter, or in the hyperthermia, the increase in temperature isn't mediated by cytokines. As a result, hyperthermia do not respond to antipyretic drugs. Hyperthermia doesn't respond to acetaminophen, aspirin, or ibuprofen and the like that of fevers. No matter how high it is, in the case of fever, administering antipyretics usually results in a drop in temperature. Hyperthermia can result in 41 or above degrees Celsius temperature that do not respond to fever medications in the slightest. So, as I have said, fever is a change in hypothalamic set point. It involves cytokines. There is diurnal variation, and it rarely exceeds 41 degrees Celsius, and it responds to antipyretics. Whereas hyperthermia is failure in thermoregulation. It is without affecting hypothalamic set point. It can exceed 41 degrees Celsius. This is detrimental, and there is no diurnal variation. And hyperthermia doesn't respond to antipyretics. In a nutshell, or in summary, fevers, unlike hyperthermias, typically never exceeds 40 degrees Celsius. Fever is associated with change to the hypothalamic set point, whereas hyperthermia is not. Hyperthermia do not respond to antipyretic medication, as there is no cytokine involvement, but fever responds to antipyretics. Some diurnal variation is typically seen in fevers, whereas no such variation is seen in hyperthermia.